Houston, we have a problem.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikka Draziv. Guys, welcome to the show. If you're watching us from YouTube, do comment, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you're watching us from realtruthseekers.com, rts.video, yes, RTS is one of our main sponsors for Heliopsychosis and most of our coming productions. So make sure you guys check out rts.video. Yes, what an awesome show we have today too, and topic totally connected with everything we are trying to cover here. So yes, we're looking forward for an awesome show. And let's jump in with our co-host and panelist, Gene, brother. How are you?
Hey Vika, I'm doing great, bro. I agree. This is going to be a really great show, and it's going to help to tighten up the obscurities between what you think might not really fit in what we're talking about and how it really does fit. And I like stuff like that because I've been accused many times of now how does that connect? I'm like, okay, just hold on, I got to reel stuff in. So you guys probably see I get like that. But sound is amazing. They say everything started with sound, and crazy people talk to themselves because that's what we're supposed to be doing, using that sound to communicate with ourselves. So much about this subject that I'm really psyched to get into it. And I have a question because I have a theory, and I'm very uncertain and confused about it though. So guys, help me out, right? Yeah, it goes like this. So vibration is everything. So is there really sound? Because what happens is the vibration of emanates out from the source in all directions, and when it is it sound until it goes through your ear and your brain interprets the vibration into sound. That's my question. Is sound just the interpretation of that vibration, right? So I don't know. It's just hopefully that question came out right, and we'll start there though. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this subject here tonight. So welcome, Stephanie, Vika. Thanks, brother. Welcome, everybody. Have fun.
Cool. That's what we are gonna try to see if we can try to wrap our brain around that. Right. That's what it's all about. So definitely,
Right.
brother. Great to have you. And then we have Stephanie with us tonight. Stephanie, how are you?
I'm great. Um, Thank you very much for inviting me for the sound. Like Gene said, it's everything, right? So it should be interesting to see where we go with this one. The question about the tree falling in the woods, does it make a sound? And the answer to that one is no, because a sound is once you hear it. So I don't know if that helps answer your question, but yeah, it's not sound till you hear it. But awesome. So glad to be here.
Oh yeah, it's quite a complex phenomena, because there are people who say that they can see sound, right? So how is it only going to be audible then, right? It's actually
Exactly.
manipulating the layer. That's why it appears, right? We all know about the cymatica or kymatica, right? It's like visible sound.
Yeah.
It could be just an outcome of that energy, frequency, and vibration, right? That picture or that frequency that even when they do it with the eyes, when Dr. Emoto, they do it with the eyes, right?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Right. Yeah. And I'd have to imagine there'd be different ways of interpreting all of one certain sound wave or vibrational wave. Right. We have our ears and other, a microphone or a tape player picks it up in a different way, in a magnetic way, and squiggly lines, it's read that way by that machine, right? So if you could tune into different wavelengths, then you'll be able to hear different things and see different things.
So I have a cousin who's deaf, and she listens to music, but she says she can feel the music.
Right.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because the electricity is also is connected with it. The magnetism is also connected with it, right? Because when we use electricity, and with the help of magnetism, that create that vibration, and the sound comes out, right, with the speakers.
That's right. And copper wires wrapped around it properly.
Exactly, and yeah, go ahead, Gene.
Well, you can watch it when your speaker's jumping around, your woofer's jumping around. You can make it vibrate so much that it can bend your glass and then eventually break it.
Oh yeah, we all heard about the levitation too, right?
Right. Some people think that's how they were moving the stones for the pyramids, by sound. And you ever seen when they put I think it's just a regular speaker placed a certain way next to a hose that's open, and when the speakers tune different frequencies, the water changes direction. It looks like a set of stairs, kind of looks like a snake, squiggly lines. They can make it look like it's stopped flowing. It's pretty incredible. Unless it's just a CCI video that I've seen or two, but
Oh
there's
no,
a few of
no,
them out.
no,
It's
that's
real,
real.
right?
Yeah, they change the hertz, and it makes the water do
Yeah,
different things. Yeah.
right. And we're 70% water, guys.
Exactly.
So Vika, you said right. Some people can see colors in sounds, and that makes me wonder if you can hear the light. We talk about being in the moonlight and sending signals. Maybe there's ways to hear the light that these signals have for us, right? Because animals do things strange, and so do we. They just like, oh yeah, full moon, people act crazy. I think there's more to it than that.
Oh yeah, it's the sound helps create light in some sense also, right?
Like a low vibrational light.
In what analogy I could explain? It's like more when you are get lost in the forest, and or away from home, and you're trying to get back home. You need light, so you start with the sound first, the sound where it's coming from, and you could try to reach your home, right? So also in our path, when we are looking for truth or reality, right? So it's the same effect in a way. I don't know, how could I explain? Like sound, also in the Bible, it says about the word of God, right? Or let there be light. So the let there be light, how was the light produced? With the sound, right? There are cultures who believe that the whole reality is like a sound in process, a sound that is expanding, like not expanding like how they say about the Big Bang. No, it's like the whole Earth has its own frequency, and that it's creating that frequency and vibration. So there's a sound, and everything that we see, the light is because of that sound.
Like stars, they're lights that are vibrating. There's a video where they put a frequency bubble or air bubble with a frequency in the water. When they put electricity to it, it looks like a star, something like
Yeah,
that.
like star in a jar.
Right.
Nice.
Exactly. Well, that's sound creating light, pretty much.
It's sonoluminance. It's the exact word. You have bioluminescence, you have fluoroluminance, fluorescence, then you have somnoluminance. Also, that looks like that's what the stars are. So it's like kind of a whole song is going on. A divine song is above us that is going on. That's why we have all these light show going on because of that, right?
So
We,
there's got to be a
yeah.
way to hear it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's got to be a way to interpret that
They have
as sound.
They have sonoscopes. You can point at the quote planet or whatever, but the wandering light, and you can hear it.
Oh wow! So language actually was the English language is kind of prominent in the world, and there's a reason for that. It's because it's the lowest form of communication that they've been able to come up with and hand us so far. And back, you could keep going back and back and back and back further, and that's how they spoke back then, the language of the light, right? And
I agree.
the words were the supreme words of power. And like in Japan, Eddie might know this, that I'm pretty sure that in Japan they don't have a word for no. They have more emphasis on the word for yes, or less emphasis on the word for yes. And there's less, that means no. They just don't say no. That's kind of interesting.
I think that's why modern day people have a hard time reading older literature. We don't get it anymore.
No, exactly, right, Stephanie? And older literature, how old? A couple hundred years?
1800s, yeah.
Yeah, okay, 150 years. We have no idea, and we have no idea what they're talking about in English. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen in another 150 years? They're going to have no idea what we were talking about. Well, they'll have some idea, but they're going to be like, what?
Oh yeah, this also is a hidden or knowledge that was a lot of it not for the masses. This has also this has been hidden from us for centuries, and because the sound also represents the sacred geometry, the importance of language, the spelling, how they mind control us through the spellings and words, right? It has that energy and frequency, because that's why we feel, when somebody says something good or when somebody says something not very good, we feel that, right? Because it has that vibration and frequency. That's how we communicate. That's how we communicate. It's one of our senses, right? Important senses to produce sound and to hear sound.
That's a huge part of communication for us. And that's why they distorted it so bad. Because we don't understand that old language of how to talk to each other properly. Yeah, we're communicating when the world's going around and everything, but it's not the same.
Exactly, and this was universal knowledge, so like among Egyptians, the Pythagoras, the Indians, the Tibetans, the Islamic world, the Chinese, they all taught at schools and universities. And according to their new history, like Pythagoras was supposed to be the pioneer in for sharing ideas that the universe was a celestial or divine monochord, it's like a chord playing.
Wow, that's a vibration.
Exactly. Of vibratory energy.
And that's what Tesla said, right? If you want to understand the universe, look into vibration. We said three things, right?
Yeah,
What did you say?
frequency,
What
energy, and vibration.
That
Yep.
was it.
Yeah, frequency, energy, and vibration. 369. So that this vibratory energy from which all things resonates into being, and also the geometry is interconnected, of music to understand the cosmic law. Like the sound is vibrations, and their geometry contains golden spiral surrounding us in the nature, the plants, the galaxy, the formation, the golden ratio. Like on basis of our cells. So we are made of sacred geometry and harmonics. Like this is powerful knowledge, which frees our mind through realization of how perfect we are created. But that's not taught in the schools, right?
Oh, of course not.
You don't hear anything like this in the schools.
Yeah, yet, but they have it right in the faces, right? With the Da Vinci's star, the Vitruvian man.
But I don't remember learning Fibonacci sequence or anything. They might have brushed over it.
Right.
But not like they pushed Einstein or anything. Right, maybe.
Yeah, they want us to get lost in algebra, the fake one.
And ask 100 people what is E equals MC squared, and they'll at least know what the equation is. Maybe not the answer, but they'll. Oh yeah, I heard of that. But ask them what 8 inches per mile square is. What?
Memorize and repeat.
Yeah, but then you ask the same 100 people what 8 inches per mile square is, and I have no idea. They never heard of it.
Yeah. I noticed that too. Very selective with what they teach the children. It's sad.
Exactly. But we are made of vibrations. In fact, our being, our own unheard human symphony. Like each of our cell is vibrating on its own frequency, creating tissues and organs and body systems. And by universal wish, we grow from one little cell to an embryo. To a child and to an adult. It's a miracle in itself. And if we look at the cellular level, when in state of joy and harmony, the cells form true mandalas of connections. However, when in state of stress, the tensions appears, which results in chaos and disconnection, followed by disharmony and dis-ease. Imagine listening to an uncoordinated orchestra. That is a state which represents disharmonic mind. we all heard about Dr. Emoto, like research on impacting water molecules with intentions and emotions.
And
Like
words too, right?
exactly, love and gratitude, or you disgust me,
Right. And the results were so striking.
exactly, because that sound and that uh, frequency to that water, because we already spoke about that water store information too, right? So,
Right.
and the
As a
water has
memory.
that, yeah, the water has that power, and even we humans have that power to speak to that water and say, heal me, cure me, or no, or put me in bliss, whatever, right? And it will do that.
Absolutely.
And guys, you want to know what honestly what would be the harm trying to identify with something that is 70% of your body?
Exactly. The scary part is if doing that, saying that stuff to a glass of water and you're 70% water, what does it do to you if somebody says it to you?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've wondered once or twice recently if there's any water from in my body still from day one, and do we collect anything from like that in our bodies as a whole through our life, and does it help our psyche or anything, or is it like no, all the water's gone and it's all refreshed and right? Just things I wonder that the more I learn about these things, the more questions I have, because it's really cool stuff. So in other words, if there is any water from, let's say, one speck of water from every day of my life, I'd like to identify with it, and it's probably there to keep me healthy and in my mind, body, and spirit. So I'd like to at least acknowledge it.
Oh yeah, the sound has a lot of importance. Yeah, go ahead, Stephanie.
No, I was just going to say that's a healthy outlook to take with everything. Yeah. Excellent.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we also heard about that, speaking to the plants, speaking to your food, speaking to like gratitude,
Yes.
for everything around us. It's a way of us of communicating, because you could telepathically do that, but the sound has its own way of, like, you're
It brings it to the physical.
exactly, because it's just the energy and frequency we put on something. There are people who, you heard about that story about one person selling this gratitude rock,
No.
and they sold a lot. It's just the energy you put in there, like gratitude, it's just a rock from the river, right?
That's funny.
And also about the plants, right? When we speak to our plants, you're so beautiful, wow, your fruits are going to be huge,
Yeah.
it's going to be a big harvest, and and the plants listen to that, right?
Well, they got a lot of water flowing through them, so water can be a possible communication link for us at this point. Look at it, everything's got water on it. The air has got water in it.
Exactly. And yeah, go ahead.
The air is like a super thin version of water, actually.
Oh yeah, it's just a different form of the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing, you heard about these people putting some things to the mushrooms and plants, and they hear some kind of sounds, right? Have you seen that?
Yes, they are there,
So
and they seem to be reacting back and forth.
exactly. So you imagine if the plants and other mushrooms could have that even we might have that. Maybe we don't hear it, but we have that, right?
Right, I agree, bro. And I think
That,
if we just because we couldn't hear it doesn't mean we couldn't sense it.
exactly, because the same thing, we cannot see the body's energy. People don't cannot see. Everybody cannot see, or the aura, or the light body of the people. So the same way you cannot really hear, because there have to be something going on there, right?
I agree. And yeah, I think Keith brought up a week or two ago how animals have that herd mentality where, when they're taught something, animals across the world learn it, and to couple up with that, how plants have like a common psyche within themselves. All the pine trees together are together, and they know each other, and they're there together, and they know it. So
And
it's
you
true. I
you
don't know, but
you know what? Like even the AI works the same way. You just have to give the information to one AI, and all the other AI knows it automatically. So I think we are the only humans who are not using that ability that everything has, right? Even the AI has, right? It's crazy, yeah.
that's great. I love it. I believe these things, guys, because simply not taught. If we weren't taught math, we wouldn't know it, right? If that's all there is to it. So we're not taught these things really in a large scale. So digging it out is really great fun. And this can really compound when you start putting the pieces together. Picture starts to really start to take form.
Oh yeah. And this the sound, singing or humming, like with the power of your voice, creating harmonizing vibrations flowing through the body. Like when we chant or when we sing, we expand and direct our breath to the life force energy. And it's kind of charging ourselves with the life force energy. So if you add singing practice, also visualizing of gratitude and joy, you will be in a state of perfect harmony. So even as same as our hands and thumbprints, our voices are also unique. They're like a blueprint. So they can literally, there are studies that they can even know the state of your health by analyzing the frequencies of your voice.
That's cool.
I don't know how these guys in the fake space are communicating. It's crazy.
Simulated atmosphere.
Oh yeah, and also that this is the thing. For even in the, for example, the people when they go to the church, it's like a dose. It's like a dose of sound. It's like a dose of already the churches are special places, right, for the ether energy and all this connection that they have, the spot, right? And apart from that, you have those organs playing, or the piano is playing, and then you have all those incense going on, and it's like you get a whole dose of cleaning. Like even if you believe in God or whatever, if you are in these kind of places, you connect, the same so literally the people are going there to connect to this more than connecting to the creator God in reality, right? Because it's also designed in that way. It was for that purpose. Like once a week, you are going to this place and you are kind of like,
Oh, Vika, that's really funny because I've been to St. Patrick's in Manhattan. I used to have off Mondays back in the 90s, and me and a friend had off on Mondays, and we used to go walking around Manhattan hunting down old churches and old buildings just to go hang out, look at them because they're so fantastic. And I don't know who remembers, but I had a conversation with my uncle like when I was about 20, like 30 years ago, 35 years ago, and he wanted me to go to church, and I was like, we were in the woods building log cabins. And I told him, I'm like, I'm in a church right now, bro. That's how I feel about it. But I went with him and tried a couple times. It wasn't my thing. But the energy I felt in those buildings was definitely there. And it was sort of confusing how, like, the energy's all over of God to me. It is, but the buildings offered a little bit of a difference to it. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe I did feel some sort of that energetic, leftover resonance that they offer, right? Because all those old church windows, those cathedral windows, are all climatic patterns.
Oh yeah. The
And
ceiling.
that would direct the sound out of the window, out of those, through those patterns in certain ways. It was so cool, breaking up the
They were
sound frequency.
definitely built for that. You can see it.
oh yeah, imagine all those huge organs playing those frequencies, and also all those verses have that.
Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to build one of those organs that they have? And I'm not sure. I haven't looked too far into how old some of those organs are, but they don't really make them like that today. They're very, very complicated, extremely complicated, just like the buildings.
Yeah, they're beautiful, and they're like throughout the whole thing. It's not just one piece. They're
Oh
everywhere.
no, the,
Yeah,
the, the tubes run throughout the buildings, and
it's amazing.
ooh. And
Yeah, especially.
if you ever get a chance to hear any of that, try it. It's different.
Oh yeah, especially the tuning to that frequencies, those instruments. That's the hard part, right? So there is the real stuff they need to work on. That they have that technology to make that, and that worked, right?
Right, exactly. This is like some sort of a blueprint of what they had, and that harmony throughout their lives that they offered more. And now they offer us bad food to go to the doctor and fix what the bad food did for us. But these places, linked with the star forts and possibly all the pyramids as well, were possibly working in the machine of the earth as a healing center for everybody and a wellness center and instead of a recovery center.
Oh yeah, because they took it away. Actually, they took this away from the people. They are just giving in the leftover stuff. That's why we still feel that in those special places, right? They can't take it away all, right? Because
No, it's built into us, guys. It's in the water. That's why I wonder about the memory of the water in my body, or even the communication between the water in my body and out of my body. Is there any? I don't know,
Sure,
but I'm
I
listening.
think that's what they mean by the Akashic records. Like you were saying
Mm,
earlier about the air being like a medium, just thinner than water.
exactly. Sure.
But
Yeah.
well, if water stores memory, then it's not
Mm.
that far fetched.
That means, yeah, we are. We're all swimming in that too, right? That's how patents, you know, get filed within a week from each other, within hours sometimes across the world from people that don't know each other throughout history, things like that, because that information is there for everyone. And like a radio, or you want to listen to this station, you turn your dial down, or else you're not going to hear the radio station. That's all there is to it.
Exactly. Unfortunately, they're putting out a bunch of rogue radio stations, I think, now that you can't turn off.
Right.
Oh yeah, we have already mentioned about how they change the frequency of the music and everything, and how it's really affecting the people and all this. Already we have mentioned, but it just shows the importance of sound right there too, and how actually these musicians can really help people and make people healthy, but all is been working against the humanity to make everybody on that wrong frequency also, right? And through sound, right? Because
it is a tool, bro. And they know. That's why they distorted the language. They're tweaking the language down to nothing, to where we're not really saying any of the sounds we should be in coordination with each other as well. Right. And all they did was tweak the hertz 8 degrees off. That's it. It went from 432 to 440, I think. Is that right? 8 decibels.
432 it's supposed to be.
Right. And they changed it to 440, right?
2 different ones, even.
What's the other one?
There are many different ones. I don't know exactly which one, but the 432 is the right one. But it also depends, because the solfeggio frequency, you have 9 different frequencies, right? And every frequency is for different stuff. So that's 432. It's a general one, right?
Okay.
Where they produce the music in masses, and they work on that frequency, right? Which is really, they should work on that frequency, but they have changed it to a less or more. But there are not only that frequency is the right frequency. There are many different frequencies could be worked on, right? Which are also harmonious.
Okay. I got you. But my point was, what I was getting at was, they only tweaked it a little bit. It's not like they doubled the frequency or anything. They just
exactly. You just need to not on the right one. That's enough, right? To screw up.
Yeah, exactly right. They could have tweaked it one decibel, and then that's it. It's off. You're either bullseye or you're off, right?
Exactly.
Wow. Wow. You see, guys, simple little things, and if it wasn't important, they wouldn't do it. It wasn't important for them to take this stuff away from us. They would not be doing it.
Exactly, because in the end, it's about the harmonic mind, like the healthy state of the mind, like also the relaxation, the peace within ourselves.
I really wish more people would identify with that on a regular basis. I do.
And it's like
a lot. I wish for that a lot.
Exactly, it's actually reconnecting to our inner sound. That it also impacts the brain, like the waves to change from stressful betas to alpha and delta and theta, that we also mentioned during our energy frequency and vibration podcast. We went in detail about that, about the beta, alpha, delta, and theta waves, brain waves, right?
When you're resting and what you're able to do in your mind in those waves.
Exactly. So there are, for a very long time, like the doctors, the shamans, Like they were using their voice and ancient instruments to heal the body, the mind, and the soul. And some sounds and voices of the ancient instruments contains overtones and binaural rhythms which entrains the brain, bringing the state of deep relaxation, like in the alpha and then the delta. So all these waves send harmonic signals to the glands and all body systems by bringing balance to all functions of mind and body. Yeah, the right frequency makes the perfect geometry, right? And this harmonic or wrong frequencies make chaos, doesn't make the sacred or perfect geometry. As we spoke about too, like if you're not organized, if your geometry is not right, nothing is going to work.
Right, guys. It reminds me of like how hexagons will all fit into each other, where circles won't.
Exactly.
And you want that fit. So when it fits, the other squares, the other hexagons, whatever you want to call it, look at it like they're all talking to each other now, right? That's what reminds me. We were just saying this a couple of minutes ago. How it's just harmonious in our cellular level, and the cells aren't really talking to each other properly.
Exactly.
They're not relaying. They're not, right? They're not getting or relaying messages properly.
And hexagons are very common in nature too. Beehives and those rock formations.
The bees too, right?
Absolutely.
Honeycombs.
So imagine the power of sound, that the bees are making the honey and the honey doesn't get spoiled.
Right.
And could be 3,000 years. The honey doesn't get spoiled. Why? Because it's made on that frequency, that sound of the bee. You imagine what that sound is doing. It has created something eternal.
It's amazing.
That's crazy. Isn't there like bee therapy now?
Oh yeah, they do that. Apart from the apiculture, like where they also do therapy for stinging the bees. The sound ones, I don't know, but
okay.
I know it's great for meditating, just to sit and watch one for about 20 minutes, buzz around.
Sure.
Oh yeah, even those beetles or those the big ones, the black ones, the bumblebee, when it passes around apart, like near you, it's like just woo, like a machine just pass
The helicopter
around you. Yeah, and it creates that vibration. Woo. It's crazy. I have a lot here around in the nature, and the bees and the
I love those guys. They're carpenter bees. You gotta be careful. They'll drill holes.
No, the big ones, the black ones, the bumblebee. I think so. They make a lot of sound. It's like
big too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. They're so cool.
And I have been. Yeah, go ahead.
I talk to them out there. I'm out there gardening and doing my thing, pulling weeds every day, whatever. And they're my buddies. That's nature. I'm in their world. I want to feel welcome in their world, There, I ask them to keep the bugs away from me. Oh yeah, hey guys, by the way, I wanted to mention recently, I recently said that the beginning of the year that we have these mayflies that come out early in the season, and I'm allergic to the bites, and there's swarms of them, and they happen to really like me. And in a crowd, I'll be the one getting attacked by these things. And so a couple of years ago, I decided to try to vibrate in a way that these things don't want to bother me anymore. And since then, I haven't gotten any bites. They're around and they're bugging me. They're flying your eye, your ear, whatever. They're no fun to be around, but I have not gotten any bites since I started thinking that way. So I just wanted to throw that update in there on how I think vibration, intentional vibration might be working for me.
Yeah, telepathically they got the message.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like,
Right.
they're flying around my head. I'm like, I know you're not gonna bite me, so you're not gonna bother me either.
And also we have heard about sound therapy, right? Sound therapy, it's also a art in itself, right? With the singing bowl.
All right, and the wand that you gently rub around it.
Yeah, exactly. I sell them actually.
Ah,
I sell Tibetan bowls also. Yeah. And they are amazing. They have most of them are like 432, right? And but of different tones, but at like 432, and they're amazing. It's like the same thing is happening. The sound is literally entering your body, right? Like that sound is of a singing bowl sounds like Om, as if you are singing Om, like because that's the sound that it comes, right? And that metal, that bowl, have 7 different elements. It's made of 7 different elements, right? You could even put water inside, and then you turn it, and that sound, that vibration and that sound, you could take that ball, make that sound, and keep it near your heart or near your throat, near your heart, near your sacral chakra. You can put in different parts near your body, like when it's making that sound, right? And what it does is it tries to balance your chakras, that vibration and that sound. That sound is so soothing. If you do that in a closed room, that sound is going to start bouncing off from the walls, and it's going to make a song in itself. Right? And then you can even, the vibration that it has, that metal bowl, you can literally put it on your body, right? And that vibration, apart from that sound, that vibration is like kind of giving you a massage, right? So it's totally a healing instrument.
Yeah, those are awesome. Yeah, like you said about it can heal you. It can actually heal. It aligns your chakras, but if it can actually heal you.
Exactly, because the cells have the information and the sound, the same way when we feel sad, when we hear sad songs, and we feel happy, or we are dancing without control when it's good music, right? It's because these sounds affect us in some way, that
On a cellular level. That's what I was
exactly. And this is ancient knowledge. This is ancient practice of using these sounds, right? Because just balancing your energy centers can help you start healing, right, in a way. And
Oh, definitely.
and if we are frequency, energy, and vibration, and these instruments are doing the same things and helping us connect and heal, because you do a session of these singing bowls, and you are like really like, wow, it's like are totally cleansing, right? The same way water and air clean us also energy wise, fire also. So even the sound have that property, right? Because I do this fire stick, the devil stick, right? And as I mentioned, right? And after that session, when I do that, playing it for some time, I like feel so much energy and so much energized because I feel like I cleaned my whole energy or the light body or the aura, whatever you want to call it, in whatever way, or frequency, energy, or vibration, whatever, right? And you feel that cleansing and you feel that boost of energy that the fire, because it's an element, has that property also, right? And the sound is doing that exactly.
Wind and fire.
Exactly. And also the people who go and swim with dolphins, right? For that. And we also spoke about the cat purr, right? Has some frequency that is supposed to be healing for us, right?
Yeah. It's between 50 and 130 hertz, I think it is. And I hurt my shoulder like, I don't know, 3-4 months ago and tried that because I was trying to avoid a doctor. It was pretty bad for a little while and it seemed to work. It seemed to help. How about that? Because it still hurts. I have rotator cuff problems and they're hard to just get rid of by themselves.
And have you got any of you guys have heard any gong, the huge ones?
I have.
That's crazy. You heard that?
Yeah, I get involved with musicians here and there, and been in some studios and played some drums. So I've been around a couple of things, but yeah, gongs are just really amazing. Even the small ones are just very different. They're very, very different.
But the big ones are crazy. The big ones.
Yeah, they come at
Wow.
you slow, right? It comes at you like slow water, sort of.
Can you feel
Strange.
your organs vibrate?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are so huge, and the way they make the sounds with that, so many different sounds are coming from that gong, and the sounds are so intense. It's crazy.
I've never been near a big one, though. I would like to. A small one, like 2 feet, maybe 3 feet.
Oh yeah, but maybe you're gonna find some also on YouTube. You can find some also, the big ones. You're gonna freak out. Like,
they offer a really unique sound to them, and you don't always just hit them like a cymbal. They're different. You hit them with a big mallet, slow. It's part of percussion.
because also in Asia, right? They have temples that before you enter the temple, there's a bell, and you need to ring that bell. And what that bell is supposed to be doing is like changing your frequency and connecting you to the frequency, like that, boom, like very long sound of the bell.
Huh.
It's just trying to put you in line with that frequency, and then you enter the holy place, whichever it be.
Wow. So I wonder. It makes me think that if you're exposed to just a short burst of it, it can have a significant meaning behind it.
Exactly.
Wow.
And we know the importance of bell in churches too.
Sure. And in World War II, at least in Germany and France possibly too, but a lot of the countries, they took all the bells from everywhere they could possibly find. They wanted all the bells, and they claimed it was for brass for the war effort. But I don't believe much of the narrative story. And it seems to be that those bells were made of special maybe certain alloys and different, amounts of copper and tin. And, they were there for healing, like very well made, old school, old world bells that could be thousands of years old. They took them and, well, they say they melted them down. Who knows if they really did, but
Oh
you
yeah,
see
because
the,
these instruments were helping, like literally also for like release of physical pain, optimizing the work of the organs, like normalizing the heart activity
right,
and
digestive, your vision, your hearing,
your
all
nervous
your,
system. Yeah,
yeah, all of our senses, our spiritual connection. Like you just said, you walk through the door, and you get how much exposure to one ding from a bell? 5 seconds as you walk through it. That's
exactly.
that's intense. Because again, they wouldn't have that if it wasn't so important, or didn't mean so much. They just skip right by that.
Exactly. And not only physical blockages, like also normalizing the energy and the fluid flows in the body. Up, like it's crazy.
So the material these bells were made out of must have been important. Like it must have to be a certain metal. Like you said, you had a singing bowl. I have one that's crystal. I was wondering what the difference was. If
No,
those were
because
using,
the function is the same. The function is the same because the crystal ones also create sounds, amazing sounds, and the metal ones also. But it's just a different material. Like you go, for example, with the metal ones, you could put in water and you can make that sound for some time and like charge the water with energy because what's happening, you are seeing the sound, the sacred geometry in the water when you are putting that water in that ball, and when you're rubbing it, you will see that sacred geometry and vibration in the water in the ball, and that's charging the water, and then you can drink that water, right? So it has a function
yeah,
because it has those metals, and because it's you could drink water and that, because the crystals ones, I don't know if you can do that in that, but the sound, yeah, you can get some amazing sounds from there. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's pretty. But no, I was just thinking because you were saying about the bells, and I was thinking about how everything else was made out of, certain metals, but yeah, that makes sense.
and
Well, I
it's
know that brass is copper with 10% tin mostly, and different variations and a couple other metals added too, probably. That's mostly what it is. And then bronze is a little bit more tin than brass, basically. And again, it's you can add other various metals, I imagine, and tweak that vibration to something exactly perfect. And that's why I think they took those bells away for that formula.
exactly because it has those properties, right? That's why. And
Right. No, it was I honestly I think all those cathedrals, all the old churches, up until at least a certain point, 100 or so years ago, 150 years ago or past, would, could have been built by old world, and that could be who knows how many hundreds or into the thousands of years at that point. We don't know. But they're not built by people from 150 or 200 years ago. That's pretty apparent. I mean, I don't know what to say if you think these people living in, you know, log cabins, barely log cabins, were building cathedrals at the same time. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense to
You
me,
can
at
see in
least
the
not
old
yet.
photos some of the old photos, like they have the big, huge, beautiful buildings, and then they'll have this little wood fence around it, like, oh, I claim this one. So
It's comical, really. It's yeah, these pictures
it
are,
really is.
you know, and the filthy roads, the buildings that look like they're a couple hundred years old already. It's the strangeness behind it all is crazy. But I'm convinced. I've been convinced for a while now too. That's why they took those bells, because they were made by old world people. And what they did with them, I don't know. Maybe they destroyed them. I kind of, I'm 50-50 on that. Maybe, maybe not. They could have them underneath the Vatican, sure.
Oh yeah. So what is these people define as science try to define sound as, like?
Well, they define it as vibration that goes through your ear. It hits about 25,000 nerves, and the nerves travel through your eighth cranial something, and your brain interprets the vibration as a nerve. That's why I question: is there really ever any sound without an instrument to interpret it into sound? Like, I don't know. I don't know if sound really exists, only in our brain.
Yeah, the whole concept changes if it's in a vacuum or no, right? Because if there is no matter for the sound vibrations to travel, is it going to reach?
Can't go anywhere. You know the saying, they can't hear you scream in space.
So yeah, any astronaut, any problem, that they can just go to hell, right? Like nobody's going to listen.
That's for sure. No,
So
yeah, it's a
what
good point though, right, Vikka? How are they reproducing a medium for sound to travel through on the ISS? And how is it staying within the confines of that without feeling the 17,000 mile an hour speed they're traveling at? That's 5 miles a second, by the way. Docking, if they were off by a speck, docking would be an absolute disaster at that speed. So there's so much weirdness behind it. Space station.
Oh yeah, and this really, like, because as the sound, any other signals or vibrations are not going to travel. So no, any kind of radiation is not going to travel through that. So they say, like, the human perception of sound varies depending on the organism or device's sensitivity to a spectrum of vibration. So we could essentially say that longitudinal pressure waves, waves in which the displacement of the medium is in the same direction as, or the opposite direction, the direction to the propagation of the wave, and propagates through a medium by compression and refraction of molecules.
Is that the Doppler effect?
So they're trying to define sound in a scientific way, right? So speaking about kymatics or cymatics, I don't know what's the right pronunciation.
I don't either. Vikka, you there?
Yeah, you hear me?
I hear you now, bro.
Oh, I was cut out. Holy.
A little bit.
Yeah, my phone is sometime. It's going.
Yeah, you're back. You're back on.
Yeah, you
Brother.
hear me now, right?
Yes. I
Cool.
forgot where I left off at you. We talk about the definition of sound by science, and right around at the end of that is where I lost you.
Yep. Cymatics was the last thing. Yeah.
Yeah, my phone is doing a new thing that is just going to screen save mode automatically every 2 minutes. So I have to change the setting or something, but it's just going.
Good thing we have futuristic technology to help us out with everything, right?
Absolutely.
Just one moment.
Cymatics or chymatics. I'm not sure what's the right pronunciation of it either, but either way, I like it.
I've heard it both ways.
Right? I don't think it really matters. To me, it don't, at least. But, we're speaking of sound and how important it is. Maybe it should matter to me more.
Yeah, so this is the thing. That's a good way, a good example of seeing the beauty or the perfection of the creation when seeing those cymatic patterns in the eyes or on the speakers or on the sand. So as we mentioned before, that there are people who can see these sounds, and these sounds are a way of making the way, right? Sounds help make the way. So when these people, the music, all these ancient times, when these people are doing their chantings and trance dance, or the tribal people, or whatever they're doing, is creating their way in their journey, right? We know how is trance, how hypnotizing it is. The drums, as somebody was mentioning before in the chats, the medicine drums, and the way it connect us to that frequency, right? Because we have that thing inside us, right? So what happens is, when you have the eyes to see, you see these sounds, and these sounds help you, not only help you navigate, but it creates the world, or the creates the visions. It's like a journey, right? So that's literally like seeing sound, because everything in nature is geometric, right? So everything, the whole universe that it creates for you in that frequency you are, when you are at that frequency, is creating the whole universe for you. It's because it's made from that. It's made from sacred geometry that can be seen from a cellular level to the macro level. That sacred geometry, and sound helps us to see that, apart from the listening and whatever the communication. It's so the music is really important in a way, right? The music, the sound is really important for us to perceive, because sound, if we don't listen, or if we don't speak, and it's not really happening, right? You don't know what's coming around, right? You're vulnerable, right? And especially in the old times, right? If you're living near nature, or you're near the forest, you don't hear, you're screwed.
No, even taking a walk out in the woods, your senses become heightened. I think for me, they do it. You're just more aware of what's going on around you, even though it might seem like less because you walk around trees, rocks, and birds. But no, it seems like you can hear farther, you can see farther.
Exactly, and that's how you see sound. That's how people who see sound can see sound, and through sound they see the whole universe, right? We all spoke about we are the broadcaster and the antenna and the pineal gland and everything, right? How it works.
Sure.
So the sound is playing one important part in that whole process. Anyway, I wanted to go deeper in on how some of the cultures perceive and show the importance of sound in their beliefs, in their religion, or in their whatever you want to call it. So it is clear the music and the sound have a long formed and intrinsic part of human culture long before the time of recorded music. Whenever human beings have gathered and groups, whether they be tribal or so-called civilized societies, the creation of sound and music has been used in a variety of ways. This is clear that music was a base of roles in society.
No, Vika, that makes perfect sense because look what they got now: rock stars, music stars, country stars, rap stars, all auditory.
Exactly, and when we all have fiesta, we all want music, we all want to dance, right?
Sure. Music is a good memory jogger it brings you right back to a minute in your past, for good or bad, or happy, sad, whatever you want to call it. But it does have that ability. You can drop into your knees in tears with the first couple of notes of a certain song, right?
Exactly.
Well, like you say, Vika, too, right? You just start dancing because it kind of takes
can feel
control
it.
of you. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
right? Yeah, this is my song. Let me go. It's very moving.
Oh yeah, it's also take you like a time travel. It can take you in the past, right? If you connect with some song or some sound, some music, right?
Oh yeah. And I tell you what, guys, I've been at a few concerts where I've been right up against the speakers, and you feel like you're floating away, like those speakers are almost pushing you away. That some of the
Oh
big
yeah, when
speakers.
you go to a huge festival, yeah, for sure.
Like, hold on. Oh, remember that commercial for the cassette players? I think Memorex, maybe, when the guy's sitting in a chair and he puts the music on and he
Yeah.
turns it up slowly, and he starts like is blown away in the wind.
Oh yeah, even also like even some festival in the nature, it's like with music, everybody's just gone, like everybody's just, it's kind of a collective ceremony because everybody is on one frequency that everybody's flipped, right?
Yeah.
And think about it. You get the date, you buy your tickets, all the anticipation up until the event. A lot of fun built up to these things. Yeah. And I've been to a lot of heavy metal shows in small places where it's really crowded and there's all that slam dancing, and there was some violence for sure. but not as much as you might think. It wasn't like brawling all the time. It was scary looking, and you might not want to get in the middle of it. But often, people weren't out just to hurt each other. You had crowds here and there. We'd be in the city. You see some guys from Jersey come in and try some stuff, but it wasn't always that often. But the energy was there, and that was what it was. As crazy as that stuff looked, it was a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Man, those are some of the speakers I'm talking about. Big stacks, walls of sound. That's what the Grateful Dead called that initially when they just started stacking speakers as much as they could get.
Exactly. It's like makes you dance, right? Like the repetitive beats and the deep bass, and
Yeah, it's good for your soul. Right? Music touches you in different ways. That vibration, physically, mentally, spiritually, it hits you a lot of ways. And that's again why they have such great control over what we're listening to and with these songs and how they're recorded, what they're saying. You can look it up too. A lot of these hit songs can go back to very few people have how do you say this? How it comes in like every 10 years, music eras, and a lot of those hits that we know were written by a lot of the same people in different bands. But if you look at the credits, you'll see the same names popping up throughout different genres, and they change and everything. But you see, a lot of the hits are coming from a source behind the scenes.
exactly.
So, right, that tells me that within a smaller crowd, in that small crowd of pop stars, behind the scenes, there's a smaller crowd guiding all of this and steering it in a very certain way.
Oh yeah, it's like about the binaural beats, right? Also, it's affecting like the binaural beats as a process in which the individual may utilize audible sent to entertain their brain into a particular brain wave, like brain state. That's why it's very, very uncontrollable, that feeling when you listen to the music and sounds, and especially harmonic, like harmonious music, right?
Very true. And because of I enjoy my silence now, and I've gotten used to it, and I find a lot in it. So I don't listen to a lot of music anymore, but I do here and there. And every once in a while, if I got my songs through a playlist that I don't control, I just put on shuffle. I can't help it. I just got to grab my sticks and go to my practice pad with it. It's like I'm forced to, and I know that this is going to feel good when I'm doing it, right? So it's like, when you're doing stuff like that, it's hard to paint when you don't feel like painting. Sometimes you really should. And sometimes when you get that inspiration, you just have to do it. Something's coming, something's here. And that's part of the beauty of it. It takes you into a different world, creativity, and into the ether where things are less visible and tangible until you bring them into the real world.
Oh yeah, like individual spiritual health or well-being is everybody's like want to have be like be healthy spiritually, right? Like also the spiritual health referred to as a state in which there is a perfect balance between physical, psychological, and social facets of humans. Every religion has its own way to do practice and to reach their spiritual path, such as Om chanting in Hinduism, throat singing in Buddhism. Have you guys heard about the throat singing?
I have, yeah. I heard it out of Alaska, though.
All this crazy stuff. The Siberian shamans and all these guys, they do that. It's crazy. It's like turning themselves into an instrument.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It doesn't look easy either.
And you won't believe it that it's just the breathing, and it's the sound of a person creating that sound. It's crazy. It's
More
and then
people need
in
to do. Oh, sorry.
yeah, go ahead, Stephanie.
More people need to do stuff like that instead of listening to the pop music and stuff. So we can get the natural rhythm back, the natural frequency.
Exactly. Because it's the sounds that really connects or touches your soul. All this singing and all these tribal or shamanic instruments or drums or all this stuff, all these sounds, the gong, all this touches the part of your soul that you couldn't imagine, like really deep. Like, for example, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so for example, vocalization in Islam, they believe in singing. The shofar in Judaism, like the bells in the Christianity. Like the music has the quality of expressing one's feelings and emotions. And the music in spirituality, with all these ancient cultures, the distinction between one's personality and its essence leads to duality. Duality of one's mind and soul. So spirituality is simply the elimination of this duality within an individual.
Lost you, Vikka.
And there, yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
So spirituality is simply the elimination of this duality within an individual. And this has been in practice since the evolution of human beings. The only way had been changing gradually. Spirituality is not being a religious person, but it has a great significance in all religions. The ultimate goal of spirituality is to get transited into divine. Every religion has its own definition of spirituality. Hinduism defines spirituality as moksha. Moksha means freedom, freedom from the endless life cycle of life. According to the Buddhism, spirituality is reaching to the state of nirvana. Nirvana is the same thing, moksha. You achieve the nirvana, right? So many different. Yeah, go ahead.
Vikka, it sounds like what I think most people are trying to do in everyday life is just be a better person than you were yesterday, but maybe on a deeper level.
Exactly. Because it's every day that we need to work on to be a good person, right? It's not just one day you're going to become.
Nah, it's a feeling that comes within, I think. And I think it's a great feeling to try and be here for people and help them understand things on a different level than what we've been taught by any of the schools around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and most people really can identify with these things we're talking about. It's just that they haven't been taught, and they've actually been taught to the opposite of a lot of what we're talking about. But it's coming around. The times are changing. The whole psyche of the humanity is slowly ebbing or tiding or whatever it is. There's definitely a change coming about.
Oh, yeah. Because all these ancient religions had defined spirituality in various different contexts. And listening to music are important tools of bringing change and self-development, enhancing the well-being and the wellness, and provides means for recovery and quality of life. Especially if you are not doing well, right? Music can really help. So this process of self-development can be achieved through spirituality. So there exists a type of energy and vibration in each sound. The vibration in the sound we can hear affect us in different ways. Some of them are uplifting and some of them are calming, while others may have a negative effect. Only the individual's direct experience with the music can describe the spiritual power of the music without any restrictions by the doctrines, text, and social practices. Any kind of religion, maybe it indigenous religion or particular form of musical practice followed by this religion, such as chanting in the Hinduism or sacred song traditions in the Christianity. Sounds play a significant role in leading a way to spirituality. Like according to the Vedics, that the cosmos is originated and permeated by the sound. Oh, we have already passed the 1.5 hour mark, so we'll take a break. All right, guys, and then we continue.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
I'm gonna try to fix this in that moment too. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. All right. All right. See you guys.
always going to be like this?
One way or another, somebody's going to always tell you to sit down, shut up, or get out.
What should I do?
What do you have to do?
Sit down. I will stand up to you. Shut up. I will speak out. I will live my life my way. I would rather lose on my own terms than win on yours, like all the others who were different.
The earth underneath our feet is a level and motionless plain. Currently, many people are beginning to understand this fact, despite a lifetime of brainwashing from agenda-driven public education and media propaganda. Those that wish to dominate every aspect of this reality continue to wield unthinkable power, and they try their best to keep humanity shrouded in darkness. Although seekers continue to put the puzzle together, one piece at a time.
All right, welcome back, guys. We have Jean and Stephanie with us on sounds we are discussing. I'm going to give a quick shout out to the people in the chat. There is Dr. Frankenstein, Queens M, King Crimson, Zeus Scott, Ryan Odell, Mike Zudnik, Lev Kung Fu, Shaolin, Jono Edwards.
Hi, everybody.
And then there's Hector,
Thanks for showing up.
World of Bliss. Yeah. Thanks everyone for being here. Yeah, so what I was mentioning before was that according to the Vedics, the whole cosmos is originated and permeated by sound. It's called Nada Brahma, like the sound, right? Has observed the universe nature as a musical and vibrating, recognizing the whole world as a sound. As I mentioned about the Om, like Om is considered to be a spiritual symbol in many Indian religions, right? Because it's not only in Hinduism, it's in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism. These all religions or beliefs apart from Hinduism in that area, right? So continuous chanting of Om affects our nervous system and results in a generation of positive energy, therefore eliminating the negative ones. This syllable is used in the beginning as well as in the ending of the chapters of Vedas. So in the Buddhism, they use also the Om. The Om, if you look at it, it looks like it's 3, 6, and 9 arranged in a way, right? As I mentioned, it's also supposed to be the heartbeat of the universe according to the Vedics, the sound, the Om. And it's supposed to have more than 100 meanings. And one of the meanings is welcome to the gods, right? And in this Islamic spirituality, the word Allahu means everything in the universe ends in the name of Allah. Hu means fana. They concentrate and focus on Allahu. Singing simple chants again and again over a long period of time makes the mind of the one who is singing relaxed and clear. This effect is used in most spiritual traditions. Like the Buddhist musical practice involves full body movements and also have some prescribed non-movements as a way of establishing principle of stillness in the body. In addition, sometimes these practitioners also use their body as an instrument while they perform the throat singing, as we mentioned about the throat singing. They convert themselves into an instrument. Because according to Islamic culture, Sufism is developed together with the hearing and listening to music or speech. In these Sufis were referred as the foremost Muslim mystics, and for their music, it's not only permissible, halal, how they call, but also it is required practice. Like the Sufis organized a proper musical environment, also known as sama, which add glories to their spiritual practice by enhancing it in a positive way. The Christians practice their spirituality by singing, praying, blessing, and reading and listening to the holy way of life. The opening of the prayer or worship in events held by Christians, often done by creating sound on shofar. Shofar done by Jewish as the announcement of God's intervention. So this is the thing. In reality, they also speak about that all these, the vowels we use, because vowels, most of the languages use vowels, right? It's actually supposed to be every vowel represents our chakras in our spiritual or energy centers, if you want to call it. That affects all of the 7 chakras inside a human body. Like the vowel UH affects the first chakra that is found at the base of the spine. The vowel O has its effect in the second chakra, the area 3 inches below the navel. The vowel OH has its effect in third chakra, whereas the vowel A is the sound for heart. I is located in the 5th chakra, also known as the throat chakra. So example, the sound I is located in the forehead between the eyes. You imagine the sound I for the vowel, or E, it could be what we call it I, and has the same chakra as the eye chakra, the third eye chakra. It's crazy.
I never heard of that, Vikka. That's really interesting. And I never crossed my mind either.
Oh yeah, brother, because this is all encoded in us, right?
Yeah. And they make certain sounds that the consonants don't.
Exactly. And it's universal. The vowels are universal, right? Almost. Be it any language, you need to communicate, and these are the important sounds, vibration, whatever you want to call it, because it's related to our energy centers, right?
Wow.
That is interesting. Some of the
Right?
earlier languages didn't have vowels, did they?
Don't know.
Huh.
I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking that it all started with vowels, and that's all there was, and then the
Oh, I thought I
confusion.
read that somewhere. I'm gonna have to look it up now.
That was just my interpretation of it. Though that was started with
That would make more sense,
Om and stuff like that, and then
right?
they added the confusion with all the rest of the vowels to expand on vocalization. But I don't know. Yeah, if you find out, let me know.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's affect. The effect have been observed on the mind of these sounds, the soul and the body of an individual. So there exists some more positive effects on our body, like the throat singing can literally help you, like, and it can also create more useful hormones in your body, such as oxytocin, and helps in providing oxygen to the cells. So the proper flow of energy takes place inside the body on the human being, like even the didgeridoo, right? Even when you are doing normal chanting, it's like it's helping for all the blockages of breathing and energy within yourself, right?
Most definitely.
Hey, I want to mention before I gets too late that what you told me, Vika. Vika offered me this. I don't want to call it a ritual, but something I do every night and every day is I fill a little cup of water and I talk to it every day, and it's like that's my communication link to the other world, and that we're talking about these things. So, it's interesting to throw that in there. That's what I'm doing, and it's kind of fun. And sometimes I think I notice things, and sometimes days go by and I might not, but um, it feels good to try to connect with something as simple as water or as complex as water. That I could tell you. And basically, that's all you do. Get a cup of water, leave it by your bed, and while you're sleeping, your psyche can be spoken to by the water, and back and forth, and that's what I'm trying out. Just connecting with my water and the spirit while I sleep, and I'm in those beta states. And I like to dream, and that's something I really haven't been working on. You got to be active during the day with that. I'm just a little busy, but that's available as well. That communication between the intangible and the real world here that we're walking around in. So yeah, Vika, thanks, bro. I am definitely working on some things that I'm learning here, and the journey's great.
Oh yeah, brother, and it goes with everything we do on every day, being like the simple things like water and everything, the things the eat, the fruit, the vegetable, the energy we share, it's all important in a way, right?
Sure.
Of when you believe in something and when you have gratitude, things work. If no, it's nothing work. If you don't believe in it, it don't exist, right?
Well, I think if you don't believe, you're gonna have a harder time bringing it to your life, even if you happen to be watching it, because I think we all see these little hints of what we talk about in the other side of the world, in the spirit world, and connections to that. I think we all see that, like coincidences. That think that coincidences are real. It's not, nothing happens by chance. I don't think that. You might have options, but I don't think that things happen by chance. So if we learn to read these things, and it all seems to go back, it always reverts back into history on these texts that are being found and been lost and removed. And it's interesting that we think we're in the pinnacle of mankind and society, and I don't think there's anything further from the truth, and we're being led backwards.
Oh yeah, and one of the most important technology of all this is the solfeggio frequencies, right? These frequencies, the solfeggio frequency, it's called solfeggio frequency because it was some Italian priest or somebody who, that's why it's named behind him. But it's the same knowledge or wisdom from all the ancients, right? It's using these frequencies in your benefit, right? As we see that it's all interconnected, right? The geometry, the sound, the vibration, the energy, the frequencies, everything is connected, and we are also supposed to be this toroidal field in a way of energy and frequency and vibration. So literally these sounds can really help us to be in our best of the best, right? Apart from all the ancients were doing with all the singing bowl or every different way of chanting or trance or whatever, there are specific sounds known as the solfeggio frequencies that can really help to cure, to do many things, right? For example, the solfeggio frequencies are supposed to be a set of 9 electromagnetic tones that are reputed to have powers to heal and raise consciousness. They form the basis of many ancient ancient sacred music traditions dating back as far as 8th century or more. Because the human ear can only hear a limited range of vibration per second, and is known as frequency, which is measured in hertz. The human ear is only capable of hearing sounds that vibrate at the frequency of 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Dolphins and bats are capable of hearing sounds up to 100,000, like 100 kilohertz.
So they can hear the grass grow.
Yeah.
That's how sensitive that is. Wow.
So we can see how limited the human capacity for hearing sounds is.
Right. And, they can even show that almost 100% of the time it declines at a very steady rate at a pretty young age, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like at the heart of the solfeggio frequency is the belief that the vibrational signature of certain sounds ranging from 174 hertz to 963 hertz can positively impact our mental, physical, and spiritual health. So there are different opinions about from where the solfeggio frequency originated. It's widely believed that they were first introduced by Benedictine monk and music theorist named as Guido di Arezzo in the 10th century. Guido put music to a poem called the Hymn to the Saint John the Baptist. This hymn, which is a Gregorian chant, is the most widely celebrated example of the use of solfeggio scale in ancient music. Because you may notice that the musical scale of ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la is present, which forms the basis of our modern do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti scales used by musicians today. Each scale holds a particular frequency that can be measured in hertz. Ut is 396 hertz. Re is 417 hertz. Mi is 528 hertz. Fa is 639 hertz. Sol is 741 hertz. And La is 852 hertz. These 6 tones form the original solfeggio scale. 3 extra frequencies were added, yielding the modern day solfeggio scale, which consists of 9 tones. So what do these frequencies do, right? Like exactly how they work on which specific things. 174 hertz relieves pain, tension, and stress. To relieve physical pain in the body, particularly in the back, legs, and feet. To relax muscles and lessen tensions in the body. To relieve headaches, to relieve stress. That is 174 hertz, right? One of the solfeggio frequencies. Then you have the 285 hertz, which heals and restores tissues. And it's the 285 hertz has traditionally been associated with healing of the root chakra. Heals and restores tissue for healing cuts, burns, and as it is related with the root chakra, this tone can enhance the feelings of security and safety. And it also enhances the immune system. Then you have the 396, releases fear and guilt. (396 hertz aids in reducing or eliminating fear-based thinking, because fear is one of the emotions that possess a very low vibration. And low vibration attracts negative circumstances and outcomes. It's important to develop strategies for the raising this vibrational frequency. Use this solfeggio frequency to raise your vibration and heal your emotional body. That is 396 hertz. It heals feeling of guilt and doubt. Some believe that this frequency can transform grief into joy. .396 hertz can help when you are trapped in a spiral of negative thinking, because it has a powerful effect on the emotional body. This frequency can aid in returning your thought to a higher vibrational state of positivity. Then we have the 417. Releases negativity and heals trauma. .417 solfeggio frequency that corresponds to the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra can get blocked by the traumatic life events, leading to repressed emotions and inability to experience joy in life. Listening to this frequency can aid in unblocking this important energy center. It can help remove negative energy from your aura and environment. .417 hertz can heal shame and anger-based thinking. Both of these emotions are conducive to attracting negative outcomes. It can aid in restful sleep. This solfeggio frequency can help you find the motivation to embrace change. Then we have the 432 hertz, the heartbeat of the earth. Solfeggio frequency 432 hertz is sometimes referred to as the heartbeat of the earth. In fact, some people believe that it's the frequency that most in alignment with our planet or earth, right? Known as the Schumann resonance. And when we connect with this tone, we are actually connecting to the energy and the vibration of the universe. These are the benefit of working with powerful healing frequencies. Heightened intuition and connection with the universe can help release emotional blockage of all kinds. It can reduce anxiety and have been proven to lower blood pressure. That is 432 hertz. And what are they doing? As we spoke about, they took out the 432 hertz. So the people all get good high blood pressure, right? And freak out.
You know, I bet you with these mechanical devices they got all over the place, they're probably trying to change the resonance of the earth itself.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, these people. Yeah, go ahead, Dean.
I was just thinking of the devices all over the place that they have, and you know the way it looks like there's all different people doing different things, and it really boils down to one sort of element. So I bet you they are.
Oh, they would have some amazing technology with this science of frequencies that they are using against us, and we even don't know, right? We know about few stuff, we know about few the 5G and Wi-Fi and few things here and sound and there, but these people have the total knowledge, because there are literally people in the government who are using this solfeggio frequency not only for this what we are speaking about healing and all this stuff.
Right.
These people are using it like a technology, brother.
Yeah, I betcha. For using it against us, just in the hertz, just in the way they change the sound of things we listen to in a general scale on purpose. They went through the effort to do that.
Exactly, because just anybody can go to any website and put in solfeggio frequencies, all solfeggio frequency, and you listen to that. Like you can listen every few days a little bit, and you're gonna see it, how powerful it is. Right? It's basic sound but just it has those frequencies that is required, and it really helps. It really helps because it's so. Apart from that healing, the people are literally having magical powers with this, because what it helps is when you listen to these sounds, apart from healing, once your blockage and all your chakras are, after it's all aligned, it shows you that it's a tool, right? So people meditate with this music, right? And you can reach to a point where you can start seeing your auras, your energetic body. You can literally move energy, right? And this is being used with people who are into high level government stuff. They know the power of this stuff, right? They're using it as a weapon, as a technology, right? Because it works. It can take you to a level where you can see and manipulate the energy of yourself and everything around you. You know what I mean?
And that's why they're hiding it too. So we can't do that.
Yeah, because if in some places they are not even hiding, they're just demonizing it through their pawns, and people are not looking into it.
No, that's true, because it is right there, actually.
Exactly, because it's there if you want to, but the way the people have the misinformation about all this, and it's called solfeggio frequency because it was by this priest, and it shows how ingrained or encoded it was in Christianity, but it's been demonized right now as New Age or demonic. But it's there not only for your well-being and healing, this sound technology, which they took out with all that organs and everything, but it's still possible for the people to connect with these sounds, right? And apart, you could reach to one level that this could become superpowers. If you give that time and effort to heal and or connect yourself and practice it, right?
That's the thing. You got to practice it. Be consistent. We say that a lot, right? You got to be consistent.
Exactly, and it's not so difficult. It's just it's not so difficult. And these sounds help to calm your mind. These sounds help for your mind to focus on nothingness, right? When there is nothingness is when comes the real healing or the real knowledge, right?
Absolutely.
And this has been practiced in other names in other cultures, but the concept is the same. So the next frequency is supposed to be 639 for harmonious relationships. 639 hertz is the solfeggio frequency most associated with the heart chakra. As such, this is a powerful tone that has the ability to unblock the heart chakra, leading to more peace and positivity. It can help you facilitate connections between opposites, which means it could have the power to restore balance to broken relationships. It can promote clarity of thought and help you better express your emotions. It can heighten your level of tolerance for dealing with challenging situations. And then we have 741. Eliminates toxins and negativity. The solfeggio frequency 741 is known as the tone Sol. It's associated with the throat chakra, and it's a great frequency to work with if you want to dispel negativity and open yourself to pure expression of your highest self. It can heal emotional blockages and allow you to express yourself more authentically. It can dispel toxins and negativity in yourself and your environment. It repels anger, jealousy, and lies. It can detox the body from pollutants, including I don't want to use the word we all know what is it, right? Fungi, bacteria, and electromagnetic toxins. It can help awake intuition. And then we have 852 hertz. Awakening your intuition. 852 hertz is associated with the third eye chakra. As such, as it's set to hold the power of awakening intuition and enhancing a positive connection to your higher self. It can facilitate a connection to your higher self and ability to access your own inner guidance. It can help you return to spiritual order. It can help you cut through illusions and see the reality of situations. It's great for meditation, Reiki, and astral projection. Then you have the 963 hertz, the pure miracle tone. The 963 hertz is a tone assigned to the crown chakra. It is sometimes referred to as the God frequency or the miracle tone. This tone is set to awaken intuition and activate the pineal gland. It can provide a connection to the source. It has the power to enhance your intuition. It can return any system to its highest, most perfect order. It can significantly raise your vibration, which is key to manifesting positive circumstances and outcomes. It's a gateway to the infinite energy of the cosmos, and can help you experience a feeling of oneness with all. It's crazy what sound can do, right?
It is.
So I do this practice. I listen to these frequencies. I try to do a couple of times a week, as I mentioned, like maybe when you start, for some people it's not easy to calm the mind, right? That's the most difficult part. But we have to see
Sure.
thoughts. Yeah, go ahead.
It can be very difficult to calm your mind down, slow down the thoughts.
Yeah, that's why people are scared of meditation, because they cannot calm their mind, right?
That's one of the biggest hurdles. Always a reason not to meditate, right?
Yeah, the best easier way could be like if we see thoughts as sounds, right? When we listen, we listen many things in the background, but we don't pay attention to it, right? We have the cars going, or the birds making sound, or the dog barking, or whatever, right? We don't literally hear the sound. We know it's there in the background, right?
Right.
So the same thing goes with the meditation. Thoughts just comes even if you don't want to, because it wants to be the ego. It's like want to control the situation and know and analyze and rationalize, right?
Very true. Yeah, and figure it out and be prepared and right. Have less
Exactly.
questions and right. Yeah, I get it. Absolutely, bro.
So if we avoid those thoughts the same as we avoid those sounds which we don't want to, it's not we don't want to hear, we cannot eliminate these sounds. So the same concept we can use for these thoughts and help us to calm our mind. And if we continue to do that, the lesser is going to come, the lesser is going to affect, and it's going to help you calm that mind. And once you calm that mind, it's when then the magic really happens, right?
The more you do it, the easier it is. Yeah.
Exactly. And the more you progress slowly, because the progress is slow, but it's real progress, because there comes a time, because if you, with this sound, you are on a higher vibration, it's going to affect you and everything around you and the environment. As we spoke about, Gene, remember that it creates a bubble, kind of a bubble of energy that cannot penetrate, be it any kind of vibe, energy, physical object. It's not gonna affect you, because it's kind of a superpower.
It's true. It's true. You know, you got the negative thoughts that want to come in, and there's just they're not available. I'm not available to them, and you know they can sneak in. I guess you do dumb things, whatever. But overall, especially if you can realize it and then handle it in the moment, become ninja.
Yeah, but it's not only your energy, and it's also everything around you. Everything have energy, right? So even it's people or situation, right?
Sure, that's what I mean. If you're in a situation and you feel like you're gonna react in a certain way, you know, remember what you learned and bring it into the moment. And you don't have to. And that's how, if I don't react to things, that's how I, because I have to be in situations, right? So if I don't react that way, that's how I think the bubble works for me. Because I'm not giving them the satisfaction of reacting in a negative way, right? I'm not taking the bait. I'm not. You can invite me into the, let's say, argument or whatever, debate or whatever it is, right? But I'm not taking the bait.
Exactly, because your vibration is higher, and you don't see that automatically, that nobody can pull you into that negative vibe, right?
Right,
Because
exactly.
you,
Right, you said last week, when you talk about being a Scorpio, how I can lose it. And I'm like, I've worked on that, because being a Scorpio, I was way quick to jump to my own defense. It's like I did last week when I said, nah, I don't. I kind of did inadvertently, right? But if you're aware of it and either you like the outcome or you don't. If you don't, then don't let it become a habit or part of your personality. Don't let people just get under your skin so quick, right? So that's what the bubble is for me, a lot, because people out there that it's crazy out there sometimes. People are strange these days, especially in their cars. I don't know what it is about people in their cars.
Oh, I think we lost Vika.
Yeah, he said he's having some problems. Should be back. Vicky, you there, brother?
oh, the StreamYard is acting weird today, and also it just threw me out. You hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're good.
Yeah, it was acting weird from all this evening, the StreamYard.
Might have been the full moon the other day.
Oh yeah, the moon. Did you guys check? The moon was so huge. It's so, when it was rising, it's crazy. Even yesterday and today, I saw it was like huge.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't get a chance. It was cloudy here. And I might have went to bed a little early. I think, what was that, like Wednesday or something like that, right?
Well, yesterday it was just as bright here.
I have to get out more. Right.
So yeah, guys, it's a part of it. Like, we can do a lot without the sounds, right? So, and for sure, it's playing an important part in this realm for things to manifest how they are manifesting, right? As we spoke about, also the luminaries being the frequency, then literally physical places, right? So connected with the sacred geometry. Maybe that's the reason these people knew exactly, right, about all what the luminaries do, right? Because in the end, it's all interconnected. Like,
Sure, man. We were talking about last week, the placement of all the luminaries is the importance has been spoken about throughout recorded history, and now we bring sound into what these are. That's pretty incredible that the timing could of the timing of all the luminaries, the sun, the moon, and the stars and planets could be a real direct way of communicating between us and the spirit world, and maybe even like us as humans. It could be like a direct link that we don't really have anymore.
Oh yeah, and all the instruments and everything that exist and have that coded of these frequencies in them.
Right. And even like a compass, a magnetic compass, I wonder is, do we have it? Like when I'm facing west, I wonder is the water in my body pulling north at all? And if I turn north, am I lined up right now with the water in my body? Does that make sense?
Well, certain cultures used to sleep pointing certain ways to recharge themselves and stuff. So
Oh yeah, especially the Zen, right?
yeah,
Oh, they're so strict about that, right?
absolutely.
Aren't you supposed to sleep with your head pointing north? I think that's what I've heard.
I don't remember. I know it's not. It's never supposed to be east. I know that.
All right.
I think it was north or south, or maybe switch halfway through.
Oh yeah, because it depends. It depends also where your bed should be, right? Which position to the door, to the north and south. It's so many things.
Yeah.
For that energy to flow, right? So
I think it's north. But you know what? Like you say, Steph, it could be like a flip flop, 6 months or a seasonal or whatever it is. That's tough. I don't know if I could change my bedroom. I'd have to do 180 degree.
Right.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I don't know if mine will even fit that direction. So.
Right.
they have their science behind it, right? They speak about like the magnetic fields could be affecting the way you are sleeping, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
And if it's not in the right position, maybe you are having nightmares.
Yeah. Could be that simple.
I know my head points south, and I used to have nightmares, a reoccurring one, and that's what got me into lucid dreaming. And then they stopped. Those dreams went away. But they're scary. I wonder though if position has anything to do with your nightmares like that. Because I don't remember having nightmares as a kid. Not reoccurring, that's for sure. I had a couple scary ones, sure, I bet you. But not one over through years. Like a similar type situation, being lost and sometimes being stalked and hunted and can't find my way around.
Oh yeah, also affecting like if your door is facing to the north or south or
Right, yeah, which way you coming and going through your door. Wow, interesting. My house is positioned it's very close to northeast, to the directions, because it was built in as a farm back in 1845. So they positioned everything according to how the sun was moving around. And they wanted the full exposure on the south side, keep the house warm during the summer. I'm sorry, during the winter.
Many don't want to just follow it, right? Even some speak about even the color of the door, right? Has a meaning, right?
Right. Wow. That's crazy, bro.
So this is the thing, the sound or nada, it's called the manifest aspect of one conscious energy called Brahman. Brahman means the world, according to the Vedics, right? Pervades every atom and molecules of the existence. It is perceived by the mind, absorbed by the sense of hearing, and expressed by the tongue. Like sound have 4 levels: ordinary, mental, spectral, and transcendental, each having a magnetic force field of energy. The mind is attracted to different vibrations of sound at different level of consciousness, determined by time, weather, mood, bodily changes, past karmas. Sound affects feelings, emotions, behavior, and actions as per its frequency, amplitude, or direction. Combination of sounds that evoke emotion is an art. Observation and experimentation on the structure and other aspect of sound in physical world is science. Meditation on the inner sound is spirituality. Nada Anusandra is a research into the source of sound that lies deep in our being. Sound is the child of motion. Harmonic, linear, circular, projectile, or some other motion is vibration of Shakti. Shakti is energy, the energy principle of existence. Existence is Shiva itself, radiant energy, and luminous intelligence of Shiva reflects in it. That explains why sound is all pervasive, like the supreme being. Sounds light up forms and images in the firmament that comes from the Vedas. Sound lights up forms and images in the firmament. Each vibration corresponds to an esoteric plane of existence. That can be reached by chanting a mantra specific to its structure. Sounds like Om that emerge at a subtler level, emit fragrance that is perceived by advanced yogis in deep meditation. Sound is mother of speech and sagacity. It is a dynamic in wakeful condition, still in dream, silent in its deep sleep, and serene in the awakened state of consciousness. It unveils in four forms: vocal, audible, that is called Vaikahari, it's audible. Then you have Madhyayama from the heart, audible to the mind. Then you have Pashayanti from the navel, discerned by the mind. And Para, springing from the prana, the life principle. So there are different, it also interconnects with the different dimensions. So all these forms correspond respectively to the physical, the mental, the intellectual, and the transcendental state of consciousness. The power of action, the power of knowledge, the power of will, and the divine essence. Sound emanates from 6 major energy centers called chakras or wheels of lotus in the subtle human body. Chakras are positioned within the central pathway of life force. The total number of petals in the lotus is 50. You have 4 in the first chakra, 6 in the second, 10 in the, like this, it goes on 10, 12, 16. And it all connects with all our 7 different chakras or different part of the body, like. So that's why you have every chakra have a representation of a letter, right? With those petals. The vibration produced at each petals assumes the form of a letter from the Sanskrit alphabet. The inner faculty of astral body, comprising of intellect, instinct, and ego, is purified by spiritual discipline. One may hear the vibration of the sunrise and sunset, of waxing and waning of the moon, of the dialogue of the stars in the sky, or the stillness of the night, or of the seed sprouting, or of the buds becoming flowers, or the grass growing. Sound can materialize into words, symbols, or representations, or revert to the original state. Pashyanti is a visual sound that manifests in the mind without being audible. How the hell do we hear that, right? When your mind speaks to you, right? There's no vibration coming in from outside. How the hell are we listening to that? It enables ones to differentiate between colors of sound based on frequency, intensity, wavelength, source, and the medium. Waveforms of anger turns dull red or vivid scarlet, of passion, crimson red or dark crimson, and of aversion and hostility, black, of love and friendship, pure red or pink, of intellectuality, golden or lemon yellow, of virtue and wisdom, white, of spirituality, blue or blackish indigo, the indigo children, right?
Right. Were you bringing these colors up last week? When I was saying to wear the right color on the right day, and it helps with things you have going on if you're in a meeting or whatever.
Exactly, but here it's also speaking about the vibration that every color have too, right? And how we associate it with colors and the chakras and the rainbow. You know, why the rainbow have the green in the middle? Because it's the heart chakra. Why is the indigo or the blue on the top? Because it's the crown chakra. Why is the red and the orange below? Right?
Wow.
It's just all representation of the same thing, right?
Yep, they all line up.
And when we speak about the blue color, then why are these, some of these beings are blue? Because they are already the indigo children's, because they have already reached that frequency.
Wow.
That's why they are shown blue.
Yeah, I still haven't looked into that yet. I need to. It's really interesting because I've heard of it before, but I didn't pay much attention to it. But I'd like to learn more about that.
Oh yeah, we spoke about all the 7 heavens, the 7 chakras, the 7 colors, the 7 luminaries, the 7 musical notes. So it's all
The 7 metals in your bowl,
exactly.
right? Days of the week.
It's crazy.
So a thought wave, because that's what you hear in your mind, right? Would that be considered a sound? Because
Exactly, that's what I was asking before.
Yeah.
Nice. That's great. Yes, it reminds me of when we were talking recently about seeing colors in your mind. That comes from a light in your mind.
Exactly, and the sound helps to amplify that light and create into more understandable for us that we can decode, right?
Definitely.
That's why these medicines and these teachers have this quality built in them, right, to show you through sound and the information that's been, as we spoke about all this plant medicine and everything, they've been growing for thousands of years. These are tools, right? And they have that information of that place where it's been grown or where it is native from, right? And it
Right. And the history that goes with it.
exactly. and all the information that is passed on genetically, as we spoke about the information being passed. So this is also being passed, and it helps one to decode through this process of the whole chakra system and aligning the frequency and all what we've been discussing in all these podcasts, and with the pineal gland and the sound, energy, vibration, everything, right? So the ultimate point is this, like, so, and the sound is important in that, for us to manifest in a way, right? Because how then we would, when we receive telepathically, is there sound involved?
Right. Well,
Because,
it's created in your mind, though, right? Or is it sent to
or
your
even
mind?
if it's coming from outside source, how is, in which form is it coming, right?
Right. Well, like we say, man, that we are like walking radios or walking TVs, kind of walking remote controls, right? Because our mind is controlling our body. So the intangible is controlling the tangible.
Exactly.
And, if, we talk about outer space being endless and, there's no boundary, you'll never find the end to outer space. I think that's what the Earth is more like. Whether we're in a bubble or not, we can come and go from it. It's debatable. But I think the place happens to be endless. And I lost train of thought. Sorry, guys. What I was getting to with that. But anyway.
Oh yeah, it's a manifestation. Sound manifest a lot, many things, right? So
Well, we would have a way more difficult time without it if it stopped right now, at least. And maybe if we were brought up without it, it would be different. But since this is what we've learned, if that was taken, if we couldn't talk to each other anymore, all of a sudden, think what that would do.
yeah, and how your guardian angel are gonna guide you, right?
Right. Well, certain lefts and rights might be just instinctual, but those thoughts, those communications, sometimes they come through as like a flash, like a flash of lightning, or faster even, and that's why they're hard to see sometimes, because that's how fast they are. Those intuitive thoughts, which are probably, I can imagine, they're coming constantly. So I guess the more we try to get in tune with them, maybe we can slow them down, because from what I can tell, that's how they come to me. It's like, that's that thought. And if I grab it and do what that thought tells me to do, I'm usually right. Otherwise, you kind of fumble with things, maybe. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because people sometimes say, I feel like I'm talking to myself, like, when your heart or your mind speaks to yourself, right? Then say, if me myself is speaking to me, then who the hell is listening?
All
right?
of us. Yeah. Combination of.
Oh yeah, like in the way we try to define the sound, but it's like, it works on different levels that we couldn't really understand all of it, right? So.
Nah, we vibrate. Right? We vibrate in a way that we become physical, and to understand too much beyond the physical can't handle it. Not too much at once. And to what degree of, like, what fraction are we delving into? I can only imagine it's portion of a fraction of the reality of the spirit world and what's going on really behind our minds and life as we have it today. We don't understand much of anything, I don't think, but it's definitely fun figuring things out because a lot of these things we can test out ourselves.
Oh yeah, and same as any other ancient knowledge and wisdom, this is also a part that the ancients were using these sounds to be in harmony, right? So we need to get on the right frequency and listen to the right sounds, like we also spoke about. It also, what we consume is important, right? So
No, that's true. You know what reminds me of Vikka when and they slip commercials in the middle of what you're watching, or if you click a YouTube and you're forced to watch the advertisements ahead of time. I typically will turn the volume off just because I know what they're up to. It's typically a medicine or political advertisement, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want that noise going in my head anymore. I really
exactly.
don't. I'm afraid that, like, if they're pumping one certain commercial, is what's subliminal in there? What are we not catching? Is there some, right? I don't know.
Sure.
I don't want them to distort not one drop of water in my body anymore. And if that helps, not listening to their stuff, then I'm doing it, no problem.
You know that they speak about that, even if that the TVs have some frequency, that even if it's on or not, or it's fucking working,
Yeah,
sending some.
Bro, same with the LED lights. They don't have to be on to be sending signals. That's why they were mandated. They took incandescent lights off the shelves like 10 years ago when what's his face was president. All right, you're gonna save money. Yeah, right. Okay. I never met a person in my life save a nickel off those light bulbs, and they're garbage.
No, they're just bad for you. Exactly.
Terrible. Anything the government does to help us, man, go the other way. Now, it's hard to even find incandescents in stores. They're around, but now they're like allowed back on the shelves. They were what a disaster they do to us. What a disaster. And look, these simple things, you guys. So they're important. They're important for us.
Oh yeah, I don't have a TV. I don't own a TV for decades. I don't hear radio.
That's awesome.
That's one of the reasons. So I'm quite happy, right, for that.
I don't watch a lot of TV, but I definitely have them in the house. I unplugged one of them today.
Oh yeah, we don't know what the hell they are doing also with the devices we have, right? So we don't know how they're literally controlling or what they are, because as we spoke about, right, in some of our podcasts, that you literally think about a product and then it comes. Forget about it. You're not even speaking.
That's true. I've had it happen.
Before you could, because you could maybe listen. Okay, maybe the device is listening to the keywords and sending you the ads, but right now it's not even speaking. So there has to be that we humans have something on a frequency or vibrational level that this device can literally pick it up and send you that ad. Who knows? We are speaking about lost technology, right, Gene? How much lost technology is lost in this between this history that they tell us, right? So we don't really know what kind of tech these people could have.
I don't doubt anything anymore, bro. People, when I was a kid, we understood, it was understood that the military was at least 50 or 70 years ahead of anybody on the street. It was,
yeah, but we know that it's in thousands, right?
Now I'm like 50 years. We wish we'd be doing great if we were 50 years behind them. Man, not a chance. It's way worse than that.
Well, it's just what they took from us. It's terrible. I think about like the chi. You know, I used to watch stuff on people. They could actually stand on a piece of air because they made it solid in their mind. You know what I mean? After they centered their chi, and like now it's a superpower. You know, like Vikka was saying, we could get superpowers, but back then everybody could just do that stuff. We were taught.
Well, I remember as a kid always trying to move things with my mind and trying to guess roll dice and decks of cards. I try and guess the card.
Like you knew you used to be able to do it or something, right?
Right, exactly. Like nobody
Right.
told me to go do these things. I was just like, talking to myself, and these were the conversations I was having.
Oh yeah, our body and mind is magical. We can't even think what capabilities we have,
Right.
especially as you say also, Stephanie, about the chi and controlling that chi and controlling that energy. It's invisible to the majority, but you can literally see it if you practice it, right? And if you give time to it, and how it flows through the body, right? So the Tai Chi is supposed to be the same thing. It's like the really manipulating of energy in and around you.
And that's something else they kind of target in mainstream and ridicule. They don't show any significance behind stuff like that to any degree that I've seen, at least. Maybe I'm wrong, but you don't see like Oprah or whatever talking about that. Not from what I remember. And you'd hear it now about it. You'd see more about it. You catch clips or whatever. If people start talking more about these things, I think we'd see more of it. None of these celebrities talk about anything good.
Oh yeah, they just want us entertained with nothing that is productive, right? That's their main.
No,
bullshit sells, right? Bullshit sells. That's what it is.
Right.
Exactly. The new burger at McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah, and the hockey score or whatever it is going on, and
exactly. Stay dumb, right? In stadium.
Right. Yeah, to stay dumb. I don't miss sports. I was into hockey, and that was really about it. I played a couple things on the street as a kid. It was always fun to run around, but nothing organized. But watching sports, I dabbled in it because friends and family. But I was only a hockey fan. That's the only thing I'd ever pick to watch by myself.
Yeah, you can watch sometime, right? It's not bad, but you cannot be a maniac or like for that, and
I can't.
Some people, it's people like supporting their team and they're freaking fighting with everybody for the team. What? They're not paying you anything, right? They're wasting your time, right?
That's a divide and conquer tactic and a moneymaker. That's a double, triple, quadruple win for these people at that point. Because states can't stand each other because of a shirt, and they're making a fortune on beer and advertising and ticket sales and parking and T-shirts that people can't stand.
Yeah, it's all interrelated. Like consumerism too enters in that, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where like my shirt's better than your shirt. Dolphins versus Penguins or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
So yeah, guys, it's almost 3 hours. So yeah, sound. We are trying to connect the dots, and we see that it's equally important for us to understand our nature around us, the environment, right? And we ourselves can help us heal, explore, understand many things, right? Which cannot be defined, right? Apart from what can be defined, it can also help you, or forgotten knowledge, forgotten truth, right? So, and everything we see, right? Also, especially the luminaries above us. And we know how important in our flat out research and investigation the luminaries are, right? And the sounds are playing a very important part there. And equally with the stars, it could even be happening with the sun and the moon, and also the luminaries, right? So there are some dots to connect there and going more deeper. But yeah, trying to understand things, right, which they don't want us to understand, right? So sound is a good way. Yeah, sound is a good way also. Can help you go inner, right? The journey within, right? To know the universe. Sound can play an important part. So guys, do look into solfeggio frequency. It's amazing stuff, right? Same as you listen to whatever music or whatever, could be sometimes great to listen to these sounds, the solfeggio frequencies. It's just this name given solfeggio doesn't mean that that's its origin. It's been shared in all the different cultures in under different names, and all the instruments, especially the ancient ones, are aligned with those frequencies. And just you don't need to be a musician to hear these sounds, or even you can work with these sounds, right? So can help a lot to clarify. And it works with your body, with your cells, with your soul, you know. So sorting out many things, right, from physical, emotional, psychological, right, in all different aspects. And all those viral fake songs are the ones who are what it disrupts. So keep it away. Anyway, guys, last thoughts, and we're gonna wrap up. It's almost 3 hours, guys. The StreamYard and this is also acting weird. So
Sure, I'll say goodnight to everybody. And thanks for stopping by and hanging out. I hope you had a great time. This is an amazing show, Vikka and Stephanie. I was really glad to be here with the two of you guys. I say whales and dolphins communicate with sonar, right? And they know that, and they communicate over tremendous amounts of miles and navigate oceans year after year and seasonally. And they couldn't do that on a globe. They could only do that on a flat Earth, guys. And yeah, so that's about it. Yeah, no, great show, and it's amazing how this arpeggio, that's sound plays such an important part. And I'm gonna start downloading some of those and falling asleep to that, and experimenting with my water. So great show, guys. I'm happy to be here with everybody, and thanks, Vikka. Have a good week, everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely, brother. And as you say, the whales and the dolphins, and how they communicate at those distances of thousands of miles under the water to that sonar waves. And as you say, it proves in reality that the Earth is flat and it's not round, right?
Absolutely. So it couldn't. And that, guys, by the way, that's spoken in great detail in the documentary "Flatten the Curve" that Vikka did a little over a year ago. So if you haven't seen "Flatten the Curve," I would highly suggest checking that one out.
Oh yeah, thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Great to have you, bro.
Thank you.
Sound, yes, is everywhere and everything, and in some cases, nothing. This was very interesting. I love the Veda's explanation. You can even see it if you look around the Earth, the signature of where you can see it might have been formed from sound. And I find that amazing. But the star forts too. I think there's something more with them. But yeah, covered a lot of stuff tonight, and a lot of knowledge, and it was a great show. Thank you for having me very much.
Oh yeah, thanks, Stephanie, for being here. We all are trying to connect the dots and trying to understand the big picture, and sound is an important piece for us to understand, or try to understand where we are, what's coming ahead, right? So yeah, thank you everybody for being here. Thanks, Gene. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks everyone in the chat. Make sure you guys check us out on the next episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikka, Draziv, signing out, guys. Thanks for being here, guys. See you soon next week.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Astronauts to the moon.
Houston, we have a problem.